Now it's recording.
Yes, now it's recording. Hello, my name is Dr. AHyun Lee. Today is the Thursday, July 3rd, 2025 at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm speaking to you from Ixonia, Wisconsin, and it is my great pleasure to be joined virtually by Dr. Jung Ha Kim, who is with us from her Atlanta, Georgia. Dr. Jung Ha Kim serves as the president of Community Resource Corporation, a nonprofit organization deeply committed to community equity, self-determination, and collective justice. The CRC is dedicated to empowering and supporting diverse communities throughout the Atlanta area. Here, we are gathered today with the PANAAWTM Oral History Project, Voices of Resilience, celebrating and commemorating PANAAWTM's 40th anniversary. PANAAWTM stands for the Pacific Asian North American Asian Women in Theology and Ministry. Over its 40 years history, the PANAAWTM network has built an interdisciplinary field by Asian North American women theologians, pastors, religious educators, and activists. These projects seek to preserve and amplify the narrative of influential figure in Asian American feminist theology, highlighting Dr. Jung Ha Kim's significant contribution. Through this intergenerational dialogue, we aim to deepen our understanding of Dr. Jung Ha Kim's crucial role in shaping Asian American feminist theological thought and her influential contribution to broader theological discourse and feminist practice. Dr. Jung Ha Kim, thank you so much for being here today and sharing your experience and wisdom. It's truly an honor and joy to learn from you. So to begin, could you introduce yourself by sharing a little bit about your stories, where and when you were born, and paint a picture of your childhood and upbringing?
Thank you, Dr. AHyun Lee. Can I also call you AHyun?
Sure, love to.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Um, I was born, I guess you could Google my age, but I was born a long time ago. Born in South Korea, Seoul, to parents and grandparents who actually migrated from North Korea. They were refugees in South Korean context. I was born in the household that was a multi-generational household in Seoul. I think I was 4, 5, because the Korean age and American age is a little bit different. When I was young, my parents moved to Japan, Tokyo. So I was raised in Tokyo as well. Because I was the firstborn, my father, I think during one dinner time, he asked me, you know, you're Korean. Do you know that? And I said, yes. And he said, you're firstborn in our household. And so you need to learn to speak, write, and read and write in Korean, because you're Korean. I said, okay. I did not think that my father will actually send me, the young child, back to Korea to learn school. But he did.
Oh
And
my
so
God.
I did schooling in Korea from Yuchiban. It was called not Yuchuan, but
Mhm.
Yuchiban up until my fourth grade. So I lived in Buddhist temple context
Mhm.
because my paternal side of grandmother
Mhm.
was living in Buddhist temple. And so I commute school from the temple to elementary school, and I learned
Mhm.
Korean language in terms of writing and reading.
I see.
And when I turned fifth grade,
Mhm.
my parents, my father came and took me back to Japan. And after that, think it was, when Nixon did this, I think it was either 1972 or 1973. That was the year that we immigrated to US. I was probably 12/13. The reason why I always remember Nixon
Mhm.
doing this is that, that was my parents, especially my father's justification for uprooting all of us from Japan, from Asia to US.
I see.
Whenever we're about to complain anything about
Uh-huh.
school or anything, he will say, you know, America as a nation is a wonderful, special nation because its people have power over president. If the president is wrong, this is a powerful nation where people can rise up and
Mm.
they could actually get rid of their president. And so that was
Ah.
it's almost like, everything that we are about to say something negative
Uh-huh.
or, we're experiencing discrimination or
Uh-huh.
remotely negative, he will say, Nixon, this, right? And I'm thinking, okay, that's how I remember when we immigrated. I think it
Ah,
was
wow.
1972 or 1973.
Mm.
Then even after that, being an, I think, migrant
Mhm.
themselves,
Mhm.
they constantly moved from one place to another, East Coast, West Coast, and up and down.
Mhm.
And so we never stayed in one place longer than 5 years.
Wow.
And so when I always told other people that when I'm growing up,
Mhm.
when I get to have my own family, when I have my own child, from that time on and until the first 18 years, I will not move because I do not want to uproot my own child from one place to another. Well, but that's my story. That's my growing up story.
I see.
And so we constantly migrated and moved and so on and
Mhm.
so forth until I came down to Atlanta a year after
Mm.
my father passed. And so,
I see.
ever since I never left. So here I am.
I feel like that connect with the second part I can ask. Look like the place where you decided not to move anymore. Maybe that's related with the like what initially drove you in your current life, right? Your field of work. Maybe can you a little bit more share like what inspired and motivate you on this journey so far in the same place you haven't moved for a while?
I wish I could say I made a decision not to move and it was intentional residence in Atlanta, but tell you the truth, it was an accidental because
Ah.
my father died so early and all of a sudden.
Mm.
And as a first child, and I think my father's so-called favorite child,
Mm.
I was completely lost when he passed. And so, I went to school, but I was just literally walking zombie.
Mm.
So that was the year 1985
Oh,
when Alice
wow.
Walker's Color Purple,
Mm.
some of the African American women's fiction, powerful fictions were coming
Mm.
out.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, and I remember one day because I've been schooling myself from early on, from Yuchiban until
Mhm.
then, the
Mhm.
year my father died. And I was thinking, I don't know anything other than schooling. And so eventually I probably will go back to school, but I'm just completely lost. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. I don't even know whether I'm living or not. And so one day, it was late in September, October,
Mhm.
I packed up my stuff and I had 14 boxes of stuff. And I came down to Atlanta. There was no invitation, no schooling. Main reason why I came down to Atlanta is that, as I said, my parents moved all around,
Mhm.
east, west, and up
Right.
and down.
Mhm.
It's the American South that I've never went and I never experienced. through reading Alice Walker's books and other African American women's book, I had this romantic picture about American South.
Mm.
This is a place that I've never been to.
Oh.
My parents doesn't know anything about American South. I'm just gonna
Mm.
give myself 1 year.
Mm.
I'm already lost as is, and
Mm.
so I'm just gonna give myself 1 year.
Mm.
And that's how I came down.
Wow.
But that 1 year became what, 30 years now or something like that. So I
30
never left.
years.
It was an accidental residency, but I never left. Yeah.
God, that's so curious. What makes you stay in Atlanta then?
Yeah, and I think I really thought that because all my Kim's clan,
Mhm,
including my mother, was
mhm,
all situated in West Coast, California. As a firstborn, I had like a lifelong stress and maybe pressure to go back to West Coast to
mhm,
take care of my aging mother and so on and so forth. And so that was my plan, whether I was consciously accepting it or not. That was my faith, I thought.
mhm,
Then pandemic took place, right?
mhm.
And
Yeah.
so, to make a long story short, I have my mother here. My
Mhm,
brother moved here. My sister will be moving this fall. And so one by one,
mhm.
everybody, the rest of the Kim's clan is now restituting in Atlanta. So
Atlanta.
rather than me going out there, they came. I should say
Wow.
they came. I took my mother
Uh-huh.
and I moved her here
Okay.
in the pandemic. Because
Mm.
the first phase of pandemic when everything shut down, Atlanta being a very red state, Republican state, we were the first state to open, went back to normal business, right?
I see.
And so one day I was thinking, even if something happens and even if I fly out to California,
Mhm,
I won't be able to be with my mother if
mhm,
something happened, right?
mm,
That will be probably the regret in my life. And I was thinking, we did not know what this COVID thing is.
mm,
And we're very scared. And I'm thinking, if I had to die, then I want to die with her. So I took the risk and I went out there. We packed up her stuff.
mhm.
It was within 3 days. We packed up stuff and I moved her here. I used to say, my mother moved during the pandemic. My mother used to correct me. No, I did not move. You moved me here. Whether I say this in Korean or English, she
Mhm,
will correct me. No, I did
mm.
not move. You
You
moved
moved
me
me.
here. She did that for a good 1 year. And I felt bad, but she's been here with me 5 years already. And
Mhm.
so after first year or so, and then she voluntarily said, I moved.
Oh,
And I am just
I
so
see.
grateful and happy that she's settling. Um, and so, our mother, as
Mhm,
I guess the more mature and previous generation of women,
mhm,
I'm still continue to learn a lot from my
mm.
mother.
I
But
see.
the whole Kim's clan is, including my sister's family, will be
Uh-huh.
here by end of this year.
My God, that's amazing. All the like little by little
Yeah,
transition, but
yeah.
somehow it's happened like, in a
Uh-huh.
different way.
Especially over this pandemic. It
Uh-huh.
was hard, it was a painful experience, but personally, I
Uh-huh.
gained a lot.
I see. I can see that. I can see that. It looked like your mom also impact you a lot. The reason I'm saying it because she said in the beginning, like, you moved me.
Yeah,
I
she
didn't move
moved.
it,
I didn't move.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah. But then now she's claimed like I moved, right? So
right,
like
right,
somehow my experience observing you, I can see that part of you too, a
right.
little bit too.
Uh-huh.
So I can hear that. is there like any other like person or like mentor or like someone who impact on your life and your journey to that, like along with
Yeah,
your parents?
yeah. I remember seeing this question with few others. I was thinking, I was thinking, but I will have a problem naming few because there's so many.
Mm,
I think my grandmother who raised me in Buddhist temple, I still see her in my dreams. I
mm,
still talk with her, physically
mm,
sometimes.
mm,
Or I catch myself talking with her
mm,
physically. Like, 할머니,
mm.
내가 힘들어 죽겠다, or something, right?
Right, right.
And so mentors, their former mentors and informal mentors and people who have learned and authors, writers who have never got to meet all those people. There's so many, right?
Mm,
But just recently, because of CRC got funding from Alzheimer's Association, this was the first year that we ended up experimenting with people living with dementia and their family respite program. And
mhm,
so we've been doing this for 1 year. All my life, I did everything, you name it, all the nonprofit stuff. But dementia, it's just too closer to home. My mother is 90 years old. I didn't want to deal with older people more consciously. And so I always said no. Even with a lot of grant opportunity, I did say no.
okay.
This time, when the opportunity came without me seeking out there, somehow I felt like this is time that I need to just take on. And
Mhm,
so I took it on as an opportunity. And we've been doing this as if we were concluding it in July as a first year. But when you're mentioning about mentors and teachers, I probably will be starting some blog of some sort through
mhm,
CRC website, but I've already thought about entitling my blog as My New Teachers.
mm,
People living with dementia is
mm,
teaching me and stretching me so
mm,
much that I'm learning so much from them. From our perspective, they were the ones who lost their memories.
mm, mm,
I mean, it's a dementia,
mm,
Alzheimer's, and all that
uh-huh,
stuff, right? But they're teaching me now what is important to remember,
mm,
what's worthwhile remembering,
mhm,
not quantity, but something that's core to who you are.
mhm,
That's all we need to remember, really. And
mhm,
so, if I have to name somebody, some people right now who's
mhm,
teaching me, mentoring me, it's probably those program participants in
mm.
that dementia program.
I see.
That's completely unexpected, but yeah, they stretch me.
Wow. That's lead me like this is was question too, but still curious because when I met you even first time,
Hmm.
like you always emphasize I'm not theologian, but I'm also theologian. Certain way, like I'm sociologist. So I see theology in a different frame. Like you always
Hmm.
said, like I'm scholar, but I'm also community organizers. Like those, like I still vividly remember like how you explain who you are. So I'm curious, like what's lead you in that part to claim your identity in that way? Because it's process of forming. I'm sure it's not that simple answer you can give, but that's how I always think about you. So can you a little bit share like what lead you to be in that current context right now, what you are doing, like how
Hmm.
you're engaging with the those who are sharing their life with the dementia even too.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
mean, this is really a very guiding, helpful question and interview questions too. It make really, really force me to think about and reflect more. But I think my introduction, or maybe formal introduction to theology, is because of the surrounding. Given my age, I think when I went through seminary training, that's when the Latin America's liberation theology was in its height.
Ah,
I've never heard of Minjung theology or anything like that until I went to seminary. But Latin America liberation theology was the one that really hit me hard.
mm,
But there's something about this beyond gender analysis, beyond different race and all that. There's something around, or maybe about the whole theology as a field of systematic study. I felt like I was missing.
mm,
I mean, it was very helpful. It gave me a lot of answers.
mm,
I ended up asking, what are the questions? I mean, the like a Bible verses you could memorize and you could utilize. But I'm
mm,
thinking,
mm,
unless I know some questions, when do I know which answer to match which questions? And accidentally, literally accidentally, I was reading some kind of liberation theology, and there's a sociologist named Gregory Baum. Not
mm,
famous, okay? But I
mm,
remember. And it's a thin paperback about sociological inquiry of God or something like that. It's almost a pamphlet-like.
mm,
And I ended up reading it. And he was asking so many questions that I didn't even know that those are my questions. It's like, why theology?
mm,
Why is it, some people are categorized as a poor, middle class. Why this? Why that? And I
mm,
thought, well, he's asking a lot of obvious questions. Then while I was reading that thin paperback, it's a sociologically trained person asking this question.
mm,
That's my introduction to sociology.
mm,
So from my perspective, theology is a set of answers and guidance. Sociology slash social science is maybe a set of questions that I will be able to ask. And
mm,
it's my responsibility is to maybe match some questions with answers. And
mm,
so, in academy, I was officially and formally trained as a sociologist,
mm,
but my answers often led the whole ways in which I did sociology led
mm.
me to the theological discipline. And so your question is reflective
Mm,
biographically as well, but my ongoing struggle in the context of PANAAWTM as well.
mm,
The first time I went to PANAAWTM was the second meeting. I missed the historical meeting at Lady Russell and Sharon's house.
mhm,
In that seminary setting, or in Princeton Theological Seminary, Sue went.
mhm,
And the next meeting, I went. The third meeting, I went. So I
mhm,
went second and third meeting in New
mhm,
York.
mm.
And I decided the PANAAWTM was not me.
Really?
Exactly because what you are asking. Because I'm thinking, these are a bunch of religious people. They're asking theological stuff. And I am in pursuit of questions. So that's one, disciplinary differences. Second thing, these are Asian women, not Asian American women.
Mm,
Even though in the second meeting,
mm,
I think looking back, it was Rita. When I asked her, she said it was her. Um, Back then, I did not know this woman, but she read, I think, 1 or 2 page written down
uh-huh,
paper,
uh-huh,
but it's almost like an essay slash poetry poem. but
Mhm.
she's clearly um, Asian American, not Asian.
Mm.
She made very clear distinction saying, hey, you do not discard Asian American women in
Mm.
this meeting. I'm going to
Mm.
tell you,
Mm.
Asian woman who's my mother. So
Mhm.
she was writing and she was reading her mother's story as an Asian American woman. So
Mm.
that's the reason why I remember clearly her. It's
Uh-huh.
not a presentation, it was sharing. Is
Mm.
that okay? At least besides myself,
Mm.
somebody else is raising questions
Mm.
about this group. It's
Mm.
all Asian. That's how I
Mm.
remember.
I
So,
see.
but then I was thinking there's no other place that actually gathers women who's
Mhm.
Asian looking in
Mhm.
theological context. So I gave
Mhm.
another try.
I
So I
see.
was there first in the second and two consecutive years of PANAAWTM. And
Mm.
then I said, no, I've decided this is not for me. So I was
Mm.
off. And so, you know, um, I don't know how I made bridges. I think even while I took on leadership at PANAAWTM, every time, I shouldn't say every time, every opportunity that I thought I could
Mhm.
maybe share the internal conflict that I experienced in PANAAWTM, I voiced it.
I, oh.
The latest one was when we were making a decision about whether we want PANAAWTM to be a nonprofit or not. That was in Denver. We were doing SWOT analysis and all that stuff, and we were just moving forward and forward, right? Getting stronger. Then I said to,
Getting stronger,
yeah,
stronger, right? To
I
move to a
said to the group,
non-profit.
yeah, then I said to the group, hey, you think that, you're working really hard and you've done a lot of internal work? Hear me out. Still struggling with you. I'm sticking with you because of the relationship and history. But, I sometimes feel out of space. You think that because I'm part of your board members, you think that I'm in. No, I always think about how to get out of this group because I am not fully in. I still struggle. Um, I remember sharing that very clearly.
I see.
Um, and so if you think that I am, I don't know, 100% in Pan
Mhm.
Autumn and all that, y- I am as much as I can. But there's other part of me is like, hmm, Uh, when Penautumn sisters are using sociology as some kind of method, I'm thinking, what are they talking about? It's not a method. In any case, so there's always this internal
Mhm.
conflict of some sort,
Mhm.
maybe healthy questioning of some sort. And so it's kind of put it positively, it's both an end.
Mm.
But at times it could be easily neither nor, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's been my journey
Mm.
as a person as well as in Penautumn.
Mm. This is not the question share a little bit, but that makes me curious to ask these questions. Hopefully, um, like if you don't like to answer, that's fine. To I like to
Mhm,
ask. So sometimes, like when you have those feelings, there's
mhm,
a space you feel like you cannot share even that feeling with the group, right?
mhm,
But
mhm,
what makes you be able to speak up that part? Or like, because sometimes that's different things, right?
mhm,
And also that can be the part of the things you are able to be in and out in that group too, right? So
mhm,
I'm
mhm.
curious, like what makes you be able to be share that experience with the group.
I think, I'm not sure if it's logically thought out,
Mm.
but I think two things as I was listening to your question, two things came to my mind. One is that whether I feel comfortable or not, there comes a time that something within you want to be honest,
Mm,
whether your surrounding could actually handle or maybe register, regardless of your surrounding, you just
mm,
want to show your true color. You
mhm,
don't
mhm,
want to deceive your surroundings. So something from within
mhm,
that
mhm,
makes you say, hey, it may not be the proper context, it may not be something positive that I could actually contribute, but this is what I'm feeling.
mhm,
This is the ongoing struggle. So that's
mm,
the one thing. The second thing is, once again, being a sociologist, maybe it's a surrounding. I have a trust in my surrounding in the context of PANAAWTM that
mm,
even if something is not appropriate, not
mhm,
acceptable, not popular,
mhm,
they're going to let me be.
mm,
Um, and so whether they want to make space in proactively or not,
mm,
I know in this trusted community, I can make my own space,
mm,
even if I don't fully belong.
mhm,
If I could be honest by saying that, hey, I'm halfway in, but I'm struggling. I need my space,
mm,
but I'm with you.
mhm,
That should be good enough. So I
mm,
had this trust slash faith
mhm,
in Panorama Circle, I
mm.
guess. So
I
those
see.
are two thoughts that came into my mind.
I see. That's great. Is there any like meaningful or unforgettable or even fun experience from with the Penadam group then? Like that's lead me
It
curious
was so
about
much
those.
fun. It
Like
was
like
so much
something's come out to you.
it was so much fun. I think, that's what sustains people over difficult conversation, over different phases of Pan Autumn as an organization. I think it's the people, the relationship that we built. I think we often talk about friendship, but it's not a easy, smooth, likable friendship. I would say the friendship that sustained me thus far and life friendships that I was able to build in Pan Autumn context is something that you worked on. It's something that I feel like you had to earn it. It's it's like, I don't want to say marriage, but it's like some kind of boundary there that's panada, and within it, it's up to you to make it happen. And so we contribute things, sometimes consciously effort, sometimes it's like spontaneous breakthrough of some kind of accident or happening we all have to face it together. Whatever the context may be, I think it's the relationship that we develop and build together that sustains. And so, I think about, oh, by the way, the very first generation of Pan Autumn, and even among the five people that this particular project you have chosen, when I think about it, that they all, except Sue, were born in the month of April. And so the first phase of Pan Autumn, we used to celebrate the birthday month. And so out of 7 or 6 faculty advisor,
Uh-huh.
except for one, everybody had birthday in April.
And April. You too?
And it's a fun fact. But
Ah.
it's much more than fun fact, whether you follow astrology or other kind of signs. The April month, women born in April month, they're either Aries or Taurus. They're very strong, very stubborn. And so I was thinking, hmm, what got us together is not because we like each other
Mhm.
or we had innate attraction toward each other. It's not like that. We were like butting heads. But one thing that's common about April
Mhm.
month, symbolically and astrologically, is that they're stubborn. They are persistent. Talking about resilience, it's like they go. And so they're good material for pioneering and building.
Mm.
And this is also symbolic to the different stages that Pan Autumn had to go through.
Mhm.
Once you are pioneered and built, you no longer need them. Pan Autumn means different kinds of leadership. If you keep on holding on to the pioneering and building,
Mhm.
you're not going to be able to grow. So that was done. I'm thinking, I'm looking at that poster the other day. I'm thinking, I'm pretty sure it's you have your own logical, wonderful, theological, scholarly reason, but these are all very strong April month women, except Sue. Sue's birthday is in October, and so yeah, it's fun factor, but
Uh-huh.
I had so much fun. I
Oh.
still have so much fun.
Oh,
And I
wow.
think about each and every one of those old friends,
Uh-huh.
were times that even by myself, sometimes I catch myself laughing aloud. But, yet that something that it's penultimate. It's something that they were just stuck together. And
Mm.
so even after years of no direct communication, if something happens, I know that they will be there.
Mm.
And so, yeah, a
Uh,
lot of
uh,
fun factors.
I see. Is your birthday is on April too then?
Oh yeah, oh
I
yeah.
see.
Gail, out of Gail's birthday comes first, and then
Uh-huh.
Pui Lan, then mine, and then Vita.
Oh my God, that's so
First,
interesting.
second, third, last week. Uh-huh.
The month, my birthday month.
Right. When's your birthday?
September.
Oh, September. Oh,
Uh,
okay, great.
Very saying my personality now too, right? September.
Yeah, we don't need April month
Uh,
anymore.
well, then what challenges did you encounter as a leaders within the Panadam then? Like,
There are a lot of challenges too. Every stage and every time that
mhm,
we were trying to move forward with things. I mean, Pan from outside, it's probably a lot of, unifying factors, women,
mhm, mhm,
biology,
mhm,
race, and so on and so forth. But within ourselves, it's really a diverse
mhm,
people coming
mhm,
together, not
mhm,
only generationally, age-wise,
mhm,
discipline, and so on and so forth, but it's really diverse. And
mhm,
so, that the gift and challenge of diversity
mhm,
lives
mhm,
within Pan
mhm,
Autumn too.
mhm,
I think the challenge is that, as you already mentioned, there's always, because it used to be annual conference focused.
mhm,
And that's another reason why we decided to move away from that to more ongoing, like
mhm,
nonprofit organization. But
mhm,
based on that annual conference-based
mhm,
movement slash organic organization stage of Panautum,
mhm,
I think always recognizing and respecting the new
mhm,
and maybe not too much reputation from
mhm,
the old,
mhm,
because people who are with us for some time, we want to move on. Yet there's need for orientation,
mhm,
need for welcoming into Pan Autumn culture and so on and so
mhm,
forth. So it's the balancing of new and old.
mhm, mhm,
Ironically, the older uh,
mhm,
members are ready
mhm,
for new. And the new members are ready to be integrated into the old.
mhm,
So it's not, how should I put it? It's not demographically set. The old
mhm,
people are old and new people are new, but what we are seeking within PANAAWTM is almost opposite.
Mm,
That balance is always difficult to,
mm,
I guess, maneuver.
interesting.
Yeah. And so, yeah, interesting enough,
Yeah.
even the age-wise, older people want something new.
Mm,
But the new youngsters have heard about PANAAWTM. They're testing out things and they need something old to
yeah.
hold on to.
Mm-hmm.
And so every time we come together or every time we have some projects that we're working
Mm-hmm.
together across generation,
Mm-hmm.
that balancing act
Mm,
has been and probably will continue to be
mm-hmm.
ongoing challenge of some sort.
Mm-hmm. 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 So interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, well, can I ask one more, like,
Uh-huh.
which is not in the question still too,
Uh-huh.
but I still like that's lingering with the old, because even like fun memories, even the memory of challenge, like there's
Uh-huh.
so many, right? So I can see
Uh-huh.
you cannot even quite name certain thing to
Uh-huh.
share, right?
Uh-huh.
But like as you look back and 40 years old, that different stage, and then also those like generational changes, but also at the same time mixed up generation and impacting each
Uh-huh.
other.
Uh-huh.
How did you like, if you can name your journey in Canada, um like with the third metaphor, maybe even too, how, I know it's very like random question, but I'm curious, how can you say describe that? Like if it makes sense.
Describe the ongoing struggle.
Like
Oh,
40 years old, the fun
uh-huh.
and challenge
Uh-huh.
memories. If you can say one like way of the metaphor or name, maybe
Uh-huh.
even title of the
Uh-huh.
40 years Panadam journey for you, how
Uh-huh.
can you naming it? I'm just
I don't
curious.
know about naming, but I one incident came into my mind. I'm gonna say maybe phrase, you follow me.
Mm.
You follow me. That came from, so let me give you a little bit of context. Maybe it's
Okay.
not a metaphor, but it's a peculiar panorama leadership style.
Mm.
So when Pui Lan was at Emory,
Mhm.
and we were visiting and we were having a meeting at
Mhm.
Columbia Theological Seminary where you had last annual conference. So I'm local, right?
Mhm.
Pui Lan comes almost every year, just
Mhm.
springtime. And so um, she just fully trusts me to guide her sense of directions and, mapping and everything.
Mhm.
So we drove together
Mhm.
and she intuitively, without mentioning anything, she just relied on me
Mhm.
to lead us into the right direction. So
Mhm.
we were walking the campus, we're talking and,
Uh,
and then, we went to this building, this
mhm.
classroom building
Mhm.
where the last meeting was held. So
Mhm.
none of us asked anything. We just assumed that it's going to be in the same building. So we're walking and we went there and the room was full with strangers, right? Other people using the room. And then we pause and Puna says, well, do you know the room? I'm thinking, I assume that's my thinking. And then Paula was, where's the paper? Now that she's actually looking for some kind of thing from her bag. And in the meantime, I'm kind of looking around and I said, Paula, I think I smell food. We always had food, right? So follow me. And so we moved from this end to the other
Different
end,
meaning.
which is, I literally followed the food, right? I
Mhm.
said, I smell food. I'm sure they moved the room and you
Mhm.
follow me. And she was just following. We went to the food place. It was completely different group. And then by then, Poland said, she didn't say anything. We were completely lost. She was pulling out her paper
Paper.
she was looking and says, where is this hall? There was the name of the hall. Definitely was not this hall. Name of the hall. And so I was so ashamed. And I said, hold on, I think we need to go out and go walk through the campus. And I think based on this map that you're showing, it's the other side. So she didn't say anything. So we came out and walking across. And then Poilan looked at me and says, you don't know where you're going, right? And I said, apparently. I didn't know why she was squeezing me in like that. I said, apparently. And she says, when I was with Gail, she knew everything. I just had to follow. She said, but you don't know your own place. This is local, right? And she said, you follow me. And I said, okay. And so when you said, what is the metaphor?
Mm,
I think in PANAAWTM, they were based on our history, based on our gift and discipline. We assume that one member will take on the leadership and we follow. I mean, not when I say follow, meaning we rely on that leadership, right? And so we rely on it, we support that. Supporting system is important for the leader, right? To be leader.
right.
But when it comes down to shifting challenges and phases and need of the community,
Mm-hmm.
we don't kind of look around and vote on anything.
Mm.
Um, if I made a mistake, I step aside. I was kicked and said, I'm pretty sure it was the smell that I felt. I was, and she just kind of looked at me and says, you're lost, aren't you? You don't know where you're going. And I said, well, apparently. And she said, you follow me now. And I said, okay, it's that.
Wow.
In order for us to accept and
Mm-hmm.
switch that way, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's abrupt or unexpectedly,
Mm-hmm.
you still have to have some kind of trust, or if not trust, affection.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, we take turn.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody knows everything, right? And so
Right.
when she says, you follow me, and I'm thinking, okay. But the other thing is that when somebody just rise up and say, in this time context, you follow me, we
Mm-hmm.
usually say, okay. That's a
Mm-hmm.
very peculiar PANAAWTM subculture.
Mm-hmm.
Until that person fails
Mm-hmm.
or no longer relevant for leading, then
Mm-hmm.
somebody else needs to say, you follow me now.
Mm.
But I guess I will say, you follow me.
Like it a lot.
Right, like it or not.
Oh, thank you. Well, well, it's almost 5:30, but still, like, I have certain things I need to ask, but I know you have to leave 5:30, right?
Yeah, I packed up my stuff and I'm at home, and the
Okay.
dinner place is close from my home, so
I
I'm
see.
okay. Uh-huh.
Okay. So maybe with that category, I would like to ask is relate with your connection with the Asian and Asian American feminist scholarship and ministry and activism. But this is more about like how would you characterize the trajectory of your work and your role in Asian and Asian American feminist community more like in ministry, in scholarship, and in activities. So it's more broad
Mm-hmm.
question, but at the same time, how do you see like the future of PANAAWTM can contribute to this community? If you can share a little bit more about that.
Mm-hmm. Um, I think my own role set aside, because that's the one question, if I remember either this morning and yesterday when I was reading the list of questions that you share,
Mm-hmm.
that's one question that I um did not have anything to say
I
because
see.
I mean, it's an important question,
Mm-hmm.
and at at some point we ought to be able to ask that question on
Mm-hmm.
our own.
Mm-hmm.
But I I think emotionally, what I experienced after reading that question about myself
Mm-hmm.
is that I didn't have any interest.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that I don't care,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not my role
Mm-hmm.
to even contemplate how people will remember me. Right. And so emotionally I wasn't there. So I thought, I
Mm-hmm.
wish she doesn't ask me this question. So setting myself apart from here.
Mm-hmm.
I want Penautumn, it's a 40 years, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so in 10 years, in 9 years, we'll be celebrating half century
Right.
of Penautumn history.
Mm-hmm.
Organizationally, social science usually consider generation as 20 to 25 years. So organizationally, it's a little bit shorter. So
Mm-hmm.
we're actually about 2.5 to 3 generations old
Mm-hmm.
by the time that we celebrate 50th,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a grandmother, grand generation.
I see.
It's worthwhile to think about, what we are portraying ourselves to be and how we are handing down
Mm-hmm.
our legacy to our grandchildren by
Mm-hmm.
then. So it's a worthwhile question.
Mm-hmm.
I think as a member of Pan Autumn who almost always struggle with both an end or sometimes even neither nor.
Mm-hmm.
And Pan Autumn was gracious enough to have that space of my own.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Mm-hmm.
able to come and go.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I returned,
Mm-hmm.
um, it was welcoming. And
I
so,
see.
given that internal personal struggle with Pan Autumn, I want Pan Autumn to be known and grown into the area that's not yet familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Conceptually, academically, maybe I'm talking about dialogue across different discipline, but it's more than dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
As a nonprofit, we have an opportunity to work on projects. When we do projects,
Mm-hmm.
not everybody need to be actively, enthusiastically working on one project at the same time. If
Mm-hmm.
we have a few projects simultaneously, that will cover a lot of interests of different groups, right?
Mm-hmm.
Within Pan Autumn.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's more than just dialoguing,
Mm-hmm.
discussing, but more of a mix, conscious mixing and matching of
Mm-hmm.
different um, disciplinary
Mm-hmm.
or maybe even religious
Mm-hmm.
or maybe even more conscious about
Mm-hmm.
different generational um,
Right.
uh, kind of space that we could create for them to work things out.
I see.
Typically, and maybe even direct community
Mm-hmm.
involvement
Mm-hmm.
and so on and so forth.
I
Because
see.
I think at the end of the day, everyone, by virtue of being belonging to human race, the humanity, we are everything and also deeply spiritual. And so we're faithful to the core of Pan Autumn,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's just really, really strong Christian base or not. Being spiritual beings, I think we ought to be able to embrace
Mm-hmm.
many different modes and
Mm-hmm.
types and experiences of spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wish we have more faith in Penn Autumn's foundation
Mm-hmm.
and branch out.
I see.
Um, I mean, as a president, for example,
Mm-hmm.
most likely you will also endow and experience the historically
Mhm.
handed down struggle of PANAAWTM.
Mhm.
New members and old
Mhm.
members,
Mhm.
new strategy and all. So it's that. But sometimes when we experience those struggles, um, what we need is more struggle rather than less struggle to move things through and ahead. And so, yes, PANAAWTM is the core house or fences or boundaries in organization, but
Mhm.
if we have more about open door, it's not
Mhm.
just one door that we open and we close and we open, but few openings,
Mhm.
then the struggle that we have been experiencing throughout the whole history
Mhm.
can, I think, experiment with different methods of looking at the old.
Mhm.
And so rather than holding on to the core as we tested
Mhm.
before, I want PANAAWTM to be just move out of the
Mhm.
boundary, to just experiment.
I see.
Experiment with one project for 2, 3 years.
Mhm.
If it doesn't work out, I'm pretty sure if you actually put your effort into 2, 3 years, it will
Mhm.
become something. But even after that, if it's not then you could always come home.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's just moving out.
I
It's
see.
something that I want people to take away from
Mhm.
PANAAWTM.
Love
When
it.
they have a dream, when they
Mhm.
have a project ideas, when they have career goals, we have network that's wide and
Mhm.
strong enough that
Mhm.
they could get some resources out of it.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it's something like that.
I see. I see. Love it. Love it. I have last question here.
Uh-huh.
I really want to ask this question. So, how do you hope to be remembered by those whose lives you've touched through your presence in Canada or even your work broadly?
Uh-huh. I hmm. Re it's their call. However they want to remember or forget, it's their call. Period. I want to see myself
Mhm.
until I die as a person who evolved. You grow, right? And you change. And so given the opportunity, sometimes consciously, unconsciously, sometimes even without even intentionally, when the opportunity came, I want to see and reflect myself at the deathbed that I actually try to evolve with
Mhm.
opportunity. Um, everything changes, right? Nothing is constant except changing itself. And so, given that, I was at least a little bit wise enough to accept some changes
Mhm.
and try to welcome sometimes some changes. And so I want to see myself as a person who is trying to evolve with
Mhm.
time
I
until I die.
That's exactly how I observed and learned from you too.
Thank
Always,
you.
whenever I have conversation, you gave the like little like sparkling to think more about it. So I have those moments. So yeah,
Curiosity, right?
yeah, a lot of curiosity, and the moment of I need to think a little bit more with that comment. Like those things always you gave me, so I remember that.
Yeah.
Is there anything you like to add or anything you like to, including in this video record?
Probably not anything to add, but some project ideas. I
Okay.
was thinking, you know how in a secular setting, I don't consider this as a mentoring because the PANAAWTM does mentoring professionally as well as informally. And that's
Mhm,
one of our strengths.
mhm,
But I think almost conscious pairing of
mhm,
different generational people as based on friendship, not necessarily the professional mentoring, anything like that, but people who, yeah, kind of friendship circle more of it.
mhm,
Because when I look back, what sustained me in the context of PANAAWTM is, as I said, the friendship.
mhm,
Not easy friendship, but something that you had to work on, right?
mhm,
And so, especially with this a lot of political climate and the change, and people
mhm,
kept on saying, the nation is so polarized that we have even difficult time coming together to have a conversation. Um, I see some of that, but from the community-based perspective, that's just talk. If you bring people together, there's always conversation, even
mhm,
to the fact that they're so passionate at the fight, right? And
mhm,
so I don't see the separation. I don't take that for granted. That's just partial fact.
mhm,
I'm not saying that that doesn't happen. It does happen, but they're
mhm,
just percentile wise, it's not even half. And so consciously,
mhm,
not because of the political climate, but if we we start something small,
mhm,
consciously thinking about how to bridge differences
mhm, mhm,
within and without
mhm,
PANAAWTM.
mhm,
I think they could be a sustainable PANAAWTM project of some sort as well.
mhm,
So it's that. One other thing that I was thinking about is that, when you said, you know, um, in terms of memories of PANAAWTM, the first thing I said something like lots of fun. That's really lots of fun. Some projects or something that's fun. Um, that sometimes we need to consciously remind ourselves to create some kind of fun project. But I think for a while, that kind of fun project is probably, um, I don't know whether it's necessary, but it's something that I want to suggest.
mhm,
Not about reading, writing, discussing.
mhm,
If discussion, like a gossip, is fun, right? If it's fun, it's fun, but consciously fun projects
mhm,
um, that I think it would be good to have.
mhm,
Uh,
mhm,
So it's not an additional comment or anything like that, but it's like, looking back, well, looking forward to if I participate in the next annual meeting,
mhm,
I'm thinking about a lot of, having fun, a lot of
mhm,
fun things. And
mhm,
so I'm thinking, yeah, people like me who could
mhm, mhm,
just come in,
mhm,
re-entering into Penn Autumn with
mhm.
different expectations.
Uh-huh.
I like to see more fun
Mhm,
things.
mhm, mhm. Hopefully, this interview was fun things you to do
Mhm.
together.
Very meaningful, very
That's meaningful too.
self-reflective. Mhm.
Thank you. So then, this conclude our interview today, Thursday, July 3rd, 2025, with Dr. Jung Ha Kim. Thank you again for your heartfelt insight, inspiring stories, and curious and generous reflection with me. Your stories, your contribution enrich our understanding of PANAAWTM's history and legacy profoundly. And we are truly immensely grateful for your participation. Thank you.
Thank you. You could reach me anytime, right?
Yes, I know.
Okay. Thank you.